The edit is fairly similar to most of the software. To get an undo or redo, make sure that you go into the preferences, all right, of your software. That's the script, sorry. The preferences right here of your software, and that you go into your options, into the undo right here, and to make sure you have at least 50. All right. Though if you have more than 50, then you should be restarting over. If you have to undo more than 50, that's just too much. All right. But 50 is good. So make sure you have that. You have a cut, copy, paste, you guys. That's for mesh. The equivalent of the cut, copy, paste for animation, so very important for you guys, is on the key, cut, copy, paste keys, delete keys. Delete FBI keys, which basically FBI keys is a IK FK rig pre-done for you by Maya, and if we have time maybe I'll put as an extra in the class that can be used for animation. It's a little tricky to animate. A lot of people are not really sure if they like it yet. It's really new, okay? But maybe I'll do a little class on it, an extra, so you guys can get a little test of it. Delete stuff, delete by type, that's all for, most likely history and so forth. Selection tools, all right, you guys, the lasso tool, the pen selection tools, all those tools are here also, all right? So the section tool, the lasso, that's the paint. The paint is very useful actually. The paint lets you actually, click on 5 to see, the paint lets you actually select, object. Let me go right here, and it's on the select side right here, and you can add to select, and you can add, let's say, your face, and you can select faces like that, all right, which is very useful, all right, without selecting behind, obviously, all right, which is even better. Okay, and you have different options right here. You can toggle on toggle. And you can actually use a stylus pressure to do that. So very, very, very useful. Okay. Now the transform move tool, transform rotate tool. All right. Just grab the gizmo. All right. Right here we have the subcomponent. That's why it's moving with it. Let me go back to the object mode and right here. Okay. Now the rotate tool right there. You grab one of the handle, it will constrain to the add axis. You can grab multiple axes, and you have, obviously, this is new to a couple of Maya, the orthographic rotation, which is very useful, by the way. Okay, that's the scaling, same principle, full scaling of everything, and then which is uniform scaling, basically, and non-uniform scaling in all those axes. All right, so fairly cool. All right, this is the universal manipulator, you guys, which can let you do a couple different things. All right, like rotation with the pivot point at the bottom right here. All right, obviously you can move it, in a transform, and it gives you a distance, which is very cool. If you do things that have to do up rotation, the pivot point's on the other side all the time. All right, you grab it right there, which is very neat. You can grab the corners also for scaling. Okay, which is very useful. I'm not using that gizmo as much as I should because I'm an old timer and I'm not very used to it. But that's a pretty cool gizmo, by the way. All right, you guys. Now, and you have them all right here. Select all, deselect, select by hierarchy. When you have bones and you select one of the bone, then you select hierarchy. That will select the whole thing. You can invoke selections. Obviously, you get select by type. It's a filter for selections, basically. So you select only what you're looking for. Sometimes, very often, you'll have very complex scenes with so many things into it. You're going to want to probably select only what you want and not the others. Quick selection set's a really cool thing. We'll look at it real quickly. It's in Create, okay? And you go to Sets, and it's basically, let me create an object. You can create, when you create an object, you go to the subcomponent level. It's real text, actually face. All right, you can select by painting. All right, you click on B to make it smaller, and that's the shortcut right here. And then you go into your create right there, and you go set, quick section set. All right, and it will make a new quick section set. Okay, you'll call it 1, for example, and you click. You can add it to the shelves too. All right, right here. Okay, and then after that, you can just, sorry, let me do that again. Right here, quick section sets right here. All right, I'll call it 1 again and add it right there. Okay, now, oops, I didn't make any selections, so that shouldn't work very well. Let me do that again. Right here. create set quick selection sets right here. I'll call it 1. It'll take over the other one. What's really cool is now I can go into edit, actually quick selection sets, edit, and you have a couple sets. Alright, they've been created every time. They haven't been put on the shelves, all of them. Alright, that's the first one. That's the second one. They had nothing, as you remember. Alright, and so that's very useful when you do stuff for animation or texturing, especially. But animation can be useful too. So you have subcomponent level that can be selected, and that's pretty cool. Let me do a new scene. Okay. Duplicate with spatial, just duplicate your object with a spatial twist on it. So you can have, for example, let me see right here, we can do that, you know, and little up. Make sure click on 5 to like it. See, we select that and we go in duplicate with spatial. In that we can do instance, and instance has a connection between mesh. We can, let's say, in the X axis, we can rotate it. So it's X, Y, Z always, obviously. So let's, you know, just 5. Actually, sorry, rotate 5. And we're gonna want to go up. So like, you know, right here, maybe 10 up. Okay, you guys, and maybe we want 10 copies. Okay, and we apply that, and as you can see, it went up and rotated our stuff. All right. It wasn't the proper, you know, angle of rotation, okay, but it did the job. I should, you know, right here and by 10, okay. So you can do stairs and stuff like that using that technique, by the way, or animating things too, okay. Let me make a new scene again. All right, let's keep going. Obviously, group, okay. If you have multiple objects, you can group them, all right. Which is very useful. Let me click on 5. You select both of your objects, you go into edit, and you go into group. Okay, now if you look at your window outliner, will give you a scene with you know, nodes only. You will see your group once. If you select on that, you can move the whole group at once. All right, and that can be animated. But you can still go in and animate, you know, your group members by themselves, and to because in reality, if you look in the hypergraph hierarchy right there, you can see then the group is a node that includes both of them, but both of those objects are on the same level. It's not a hierarchy, they are both under the group. Okay, and that's what's really cool in Maya, which is different than parenting. Okay, by the way, this is the hypergraph. I like the hypergraph very much. So you can do a lot of things like taking them out with clicking on the left on the middle mouse button. It will take them out, and you can put them back together into the group. And you can actually have a group and have a parenting situation. Now, a parenting situation is different. As you can see now, that one is a child of that parent right here, cube. If I select the cube now, you know, even right here, that will, you know, select the child with them, which is not the case when I select the group. It does now because that one is a child. But let's say I've got another object like that right here. Okay, now that one, I'm going to make it part of the group. Okay, so when I click on the group, I get those 3 right together. All right, and after that, if I click on the cube, I can get that. I will get that only with the cone. The cone after that can be animated by itself, and the cylinder can be animated by itself, and will never be constrained by the cube, basically. All right, but by the group only. That's the difference between grouping and parenting. Okay, you guys? And parenting obviously was the next one. Okay, the level of details for grouping and ungrouping, and that's for